You've got to have a sense of dignity even if you don't care, because if you don't have that, civilization is doomed.
Plays begin, all art begins in the unconscious. And the reason people make art, whether they're painters or composers or writers, it's just a quirk in the brain. You know, some arrangement of the synapses that make some people playwrights.
Edward Albee, America's greatest living playwright, turned 80 March 12th.
You wanted me around so you could sleep in my room when Daddy got fresh. But it's not important now, because Daddy doesn't want to get fresh with you anymore, and I don't blame him.
Right now, the man is directing two of his more famous one-act plays, The American Dream and The Sandbox, at Off-Broadway's Cherry Lane Theater.
People think they can get away with anything these days.
I was writing The American Dream back in 1960, I guess. And I got a telephone call from John Carlo Menotti, who was running the Spoleto Festival in those days, asking if he could commission me to write a 15-minute play. I said, sure. And so I took the characters out of The American Dream, the play that I was writing, and put them into an outdoor situation and wrote The Sandbox. Same characters, same environment, but different situation. And then I went back and finished The American Dream. And I think the plays work very nicely together. They complement each other.
Well, what are you waiting for, Daddy? The Sandbox.
At a recent interview in his Tribeca loft, Albee talked about how he got the title for some of his plays and how he writes.
To the end. With Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, for example, that had the original title, while I was writing it, of The Exorcism. And then I realized that wasn't a very good title. And then, by the time I got to the second act, I was calling it The Exorcism or Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And by the time I got to the third act, I was calling it Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Do you know, by the way, have you ever heard of a play called The Poker Night?
No.
Gee, that was the first title of A Streetcar Named Desire.
So he did, yeah. But Streetcar Named Desire sounds a lot better.
It's a lot better than The Poker Night, isn't it? And Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is a lot better than The Exorcism.
Albee has written more than 30 plays, and some of them are very personal.
One play of mine, 312 Women, was based upon the life of my adoptive mother. We didn't get along at all. But she lived to be early 90s, and she was sick and alone, so I befriended her and wrote a play about her. So that every line in that play was something that she said, but usually I invent. The only trouble with writing about real people is you're limited to who they are and what they're capable of thinking.
Come here, I want to whisper something to you. Oh, not too close. I might faint.
At age 80, Albee shows no sign of stopping. 2008 will be a busy year for him. In May, he has Occupant opening off-Broadway about sculptor Louise Nevelson, and in the fall, a play on Broadway called Me, Myself, and I.
I'm not sure.
Not so close.